At 5 a.m. sharp, I jumped out of bed and began my day with a refreshing horseback ride during sunrise through the rolling hills and lush green pastures of the Cosmic Equestrian Center. The scent of freshly cut grass filled the air as I galloped along with my trusty steed, Buggy, feeling the wind in my hair and sun on my face. Then I returned to my estate and enjoyed a leisurely breakfast on the veranda, complete with a gourmet spread of freshly baked pastries, scrambled eggs, and a steamy cup of tea, sipping on a refreshing glass of freshly squeezed orange juice, and with my best friend by my side, I thought to myself how lovely it is to be waking up on such a glorious day. Is what I would say if this were a fantasy land, but this is real life and things don't always go that perfectly. Ugh, 5 more minutes. And 30 minutes later, I woke up late at 7:30 and barely managed to roll out of bed. I did a bit of touch-up makeup and then I quickly put my hair in a ponytail, threw on some clothes, and then scrambled out the door, already 30 minutes behind schedule, which wasn't ideal because I had a very busy day ahead of me with lots of clients' horses to ride, lessons to instruct, appointments to get to, and events planned. Pumpkin, come here. Get back here. I have cookies. Dude, really? Why today? Then about 20 minutes later, I was officially 50 minutes late thanks to Pumpkin, who thought we were playing a fun little game of tag. We still love him though. Anyways, this was the first of my client's horses to ride of the day, and you may already know him thanks to my last fiasco of a video where I had a bit of a fall off him up in Golden Hills when I was introducing him to cross country.
Come on, good boy, Daddy.
Yeah, so I don't want him to get sour towards jumping at all in the future, so even though he didn't seem traumatized, we still are taking some time off jumping for a little while, and we're gonna focus more on flat work. Today I hauled him out for the very first time since the fall to the Jorvik stables to get him somewhere new, as he hasn't really been out and about in a while, and I really want to keep things interesting for him. We had a really lovely schooling session, just worked on some grid work, and he was super good, super forward, picked up his feet really nicely, which was super refreshing, considering the last time I hauled Pumpkin out, things didn't exactly go to plan. He's a super cool baby though, or I guess not really a baby yet anymore, at 6. I just think of him as one always because he came to the CEC as a little 1-year-old, but overall he's coming along really nicely. The next to do on the docket was a vet check. My lesson students are going to a local hunter jumper show this coming week, so it's important that all the horses are in good, safe condition to be doing so. Our lesson horses work really hard for us, so they get the best care we can give them. I always like to invite my students to come out to these veterinary checkups because you can learn a lot about horses from a very experienced professional such as a veterinarian. So it's really good for them. They always get so excited to learn and soak up the information. And luckily today, all the horses were looking fit enough to go out and compete this week. I also had the vet take a little look at Mr. Buggy, who has been on stall rest unfortunately because a couple of days ago he came up lame when I was turning him in from the pasture. Really never a dual moment with horses. Good-ish news, it is just an abscess, which is what I suspected it to be, so he'll be getting a few weeks off and I'll be on my best duty to make sure that his hoof is being properly taken care of, which means draining, bandaging every day, and just generally keeping the hoof clean. But really thankful it's nothing more than that because I really want to take him out and compete him at the Jorvik and horse trials this summer. Then at 10 a.m. we had a big group lesson with all of my lesson students who would be going to the local show in a few days, and though it may seem simple, I just had them do some flat work. They worked on some really important flat work skills. Going back to basics may seem quite boring, but it's so essential when it comes to riding. It's pretty much the foundation for everything in the equestrian world, but nonetheless, all my students absolutely adore their lesson horses and ponies, so I think they would be pretty content doing just about anything as long as they're with their horses. After a very productive morning lesson, we all went on a big group trail ride just to relieve some tension, especially before a big show. The nerves can rack up, so it's really good for them to just chill out, have some fun with their friends and ponies. Last one to the barn's a rotten egg. Oh boy, not at a flat out gallop, please. Well, I tried. After our trail ride, the horses all got taken care of and turned out, and we just expanded their pastures, so all the horses have this lovely, enormous 5-acre field to run and play and be horses in. We've also been trying some horses out together as a bigger herd dynamic, as in the past we've had like up to 3 horses to a pasture at a time, and I think they're really enjoying being out here with each other, just being able to really bond as a herd. You can even see Belle in the back there, who though small is mighty and is now the tiny boss mare of her little herd. I honestly wouldn't expect anything less of her though. And look how cute they all were. They all galloped up to me to say hi when I was turning out the lesson horses, so of course I had to give them each some goodies, and we pretty much burned through an entire bag of treats in the matter of minutes. But how could I resist those faces? After I got the lesson horses fat and happy, it was time to do some spring cleaning around the barn, which was much needed. We do have grooms, but it's really good to give them a hand, especially on a hot day like this, and it teaches the kids some good work ethic and responsibility. So I turned the tunes on and we got to scrubbing, sweeping, dusting, and poo picking, and somehow my students always find a way to make this part look fun. After an hour, all the kids left the barn and went home with their parents, but nonetheless, the day was not over for me. Then I got to riding my next client's horse, who is a particularly tricky mare who has a nasty bolting habit. She does have some arena anxiety, so I decided to take today's ride out in a wide open area in one of our fields where we began with some small, simple exercises and kind of gradually increased the intensity as we went along. She was coming along really nicely, really soft and supple. Then out of the blue, she suddenly caught her eye on an airplane roaring overhead, which sent her bolting. Thank goodness I stayed on, because I do not need to fall off twice in 1 week. That is not quite the record I feel the need to break anytime soon. Anyways, after that I just practiced doing some gentle guidance with my aids and cues, which really helped her respond to my cues without feeling the need to bolt. To simplify it, we ended on a good note, and then for my lunch break I took some time for myself and did some online window shopping for horses, which is one of my favorite hobbies. I think every horse-obsessed person does this every now and again. However, today's browsing session was a bit more serious because I am looking for some horses to add to our lesson program here at the CEC, so expect a trying horses and ponies video very soon here. You might be wondering why I'm properly getting ready here, and no, it's not to just do barn chores. Majority of the time I walk around looking like a little barn rat, but I'm actually going to my riding club banquet this evening. I recently joined this club to try something new and network with like-minded horse people, because it's not about what you know, but who you know. This is basically a monthly event for Jorvik's top riders, and when I arrived, there were lots of greetings and conversations in the club hall. The atmosphere was lively with tables set up for dinner, but the evening wasn't just about eating and socializing. We were also there to support a very worthy cause. A portion of the proceeds from the club event would be going to local horse rescue charities like the Starshan Sanctuary and South Huff Rescue. And there was a silent auction featuring some amazing items donated by some very generous sponsors. We also got to have a really fun night of trivia. There were teams of us just competing against each other, answering questions on everything from horse care to equine science, and everyone was having a blast trying to stump each other. I must say, I left full and happy and so grateful for the sense of community and camaraderie that this club has given me. Finally, I came back to the barn to do some last-minute riding, so I started off with Ace, who is this well-versed sport horse gelding who is just such an easy ride. He's got such a soft mouth and a willing attitude, which makes him a joy to be around. He's got a comfortable canter and a smooth transition, especially from the walk to the trot, which makes him perfect for my intermediate lesson students. Other than being used for lessons, his owner likes to keep him more as a leisure horse, and she likes me to just keep his fitness up every now and again. I mean, what a well-rounded guy, always keeping his ears up and his eyes bright. His gaits are so even and balanced. It's like he's floating across the arena. This horse is awesome, and his owner is super lucky. Last horse to ride, we know him, we love him, and he is Copper, who is my ex-Wild Mustang and now is my little Western horse. Yeah, so I had to turn my English brain off for a moment. I will say we have been really clicking lately. I've been taking him to some low-key Western shows where he's shined in the Western pleasure and trail classes. He's definitely found his niche with me, and I'm so grateful that I found something he loves doing. It's been really good for my brain as well to do something different and try some new fun things with him that I never really thought I would be trying, and really didn't think I would be saying this ever, but I'm super happy with my little Western pony. I also wanted to say that the barn has officially a new furry team member, so meet my dog Shadow. A few months back, she just showed up at the barn one day, and she's been my little Shadow ever since. It's been a long enough period of time that I've been looking for owners, and no one has claimed her, so I've just stopped the hunt, and I feel comfortable calling her mine now. And I must admit, I never thought I was a dog person, but now I literally cannot imagine my life without her. I've been taking her on daily walks around the property, and she just loves exploring everything. I will say our walk was more sniffing than walking, but nonetheless, we had a very nice time, plus we got to watch the sunset in the distance. So I did one last night check on the sleepy ponies, and then Shadow and I headed home. Well, I hope you all enjoyed that little day in the life. Now I'm gonna hit the hay because I'll be back at it again tomorrow, but don't forget to subscribe if you enjoyed enjoyed the content, and I hope to see you all next time. Bye everyone!